Announced in August of 2018, Torchlight Frontiers came as a shock to many gamers due to the original developer of Torchlight being shut down the previous year. What comes as a big shock, or a bigger shocker, is the announcement sounding like the next Torchlight will be an MMO. A persistent world with dynamically generated dungeons sounds a lot like Perfect World's previous foray into the ARPG MMO genre with Trevail. Unfortunately, now branded Torchlight 3, the third entry in the Torchlight franchise, ends up being a shallow and unremarkable experience. Torchlight 3 has 4 character classes. You've got your warrior, your mage, your archer, and the choo-choo train guy. The mage will have you balance light and dark spells to proc a buff that gives you more damage to your light or dark spells. The archer has ammo that you can refill by auto-attacking or investing in the reload ability in your talent tree. And the Railmaster, who's the choo-choo train guy, has a train that follows him sometimes. So I played 30 hours of beta. This is before early access. And I played 30 hours in the past week after the final character wipe on PC in early access, which is the version y'all are playing on PC, PS4, the launch version. So I've got 60 hours into this game. I've got a lot of thoughts. So back to, I played a lot of the Railmaster. The Railmaster is my favorite class. In the past week, I've had a lot of bugs with this guy. A lot of his abilities are downright bad. If you're gonna play the Railmaster and spec completely into the train tree or the train specialization. The hammer one that gives you more melee abilities, pretty much all of them don't feel great. What I was saying about the Railmaster and his train sometimes follow him. Sometimes my train just wouldn't show up. I would log in, I would zone into a new area, I would call my train, and it would either just be the engine and not all the other train cars that I spec'd into, the flamethrower, the shield, the shotgun, the mortar. They just wouldn't be there. Or it would just be the rail, no train at all. It was so infuriating. And man, I tried to play Archer as well, and the reload, the ammo thing, it just doesn't feel good, you know? Having ammo in an ARPG, it feels like something out of maybe an MMO where, like in Classic, the hunter has ammo, but you could buy it. In this, you basically just kind of, at some point, just have to auto attack because you have no ammo to cast any of your abilities. Each class has 2 specialization trees, and then your third specialization tree is your relic. You pick a relic at the beginning of the game, and you cannot change it. There is a chance that people playing this game will choose a relic that some of the activatable, the skills on the tree, you will not be able to use because you do not have the right weapon. This is totally going to happen. People won't even realize that they picked a relic that you need a gun or a sword for, but you're a Railmaster and you use 2-handed weapons. Now you can't use that ability that you spec'd into. And another thing is that respecking in this game is not early on. If you put a point into an ability that you don't like, you're stuck with that ability for probably another hour or 2. Get respec points from killing bosses or looting the boss dungeon sometimes. Or they also have your contract, which is basically kind of like a Fortnite season pass as you gain levels, or Torchlight has fame. As you gain fame, you get new fame levels and you unlock things like decorations for your fort or respec points or gear or gold. But every respec point comes like once every 20 levels or something. So it felt bad when I put a point into an ability that's like, oh, this sounds cool. I read the description, it sounds cool, but you use it and it's like useless. So that's really kind of like my big problem with this game, is a lot of things sound cool, but in theory, in gameplay, like, where's the fun? Throughout the entire 60 hours I've played this game, I've thought about other action RPGs. I've thought about, man, I'd really like to go back to Path of Exile and kill some bosses. I'd like to boot up Chronicon again. What about the new Diablo 3 season coming up? Like, that's pretty much my review of this game. Is it makes me want to play other games like this. It's made by Max Schaefer, who is one of the creators of Blizzard North and Rooted Games, of Torchlight, and it just feels like this game is, it feels like it reverted back to like Torchlight 1. It's, the depth is not there, the fun is not there, the art is good, the character design is good, the creature design is good, but another thing is, you're going to be going through the same zones with a different color all game. I played the first 2 acts on the Archer. Every other zone is a zone you've already been to with a different reshade. You fight bosses over and over and over again. I fought the same boss 3 times. And first was like, oh, this is like, you know, an end to level boss. Then he became, oh, this is a like not even a end of like level boss. He's just like, oh, he's in front of this door. And it's just the copy paste of the levels, the mobs, all that stuff is just not, it makes it feel cheap. It makes it feel like a mobile game. Like it was just a quick, like, let's get something out. You know, we don't care about quality. It's just, you know, this is what we got. And I attribute a lot of that to this being something else a year or 2 ago, right? It was Torchlight Frontiers. It was supposed to be an ARPG MMO. It was supposed to be, God, when they announced it, it was like 7 to 8 players in your party. And now it's just kind of like, oh, you see people in town, then you go do your quest, but the story's not interesting. I mean, Torchlight story's never really been interesting, but this is like even less. All the cutscenes in the game feel rushed and unfinished, and it's just, this is not a, it's hard to call it not a quality game because it doesn't really crash. I only got disconnected from the servers once in the past 30 hours of playing. It's finished, but there's still tons of bugs. The fort creation stuff doesn't really, like, it's not as like deep as you would want it to be, to like just really kind of like, oh, I'm putting these down so I can respec, because you've got to put down your class's building to be able to respec. You sacrifice gear to get more magic find, but then now you're gold starved. If you want to like gamble more gear, you can't because you're sacrificing all your weapon to get more magic find. You do the same for your resistances: fire, poison, lightning, whatever. And it's just like, now I'm like, not, I'm gold starved and I'm not getting a lot of upgrades. And so I played on normal difficulty for a lot. I played on hard, and I played on ridiculous, which is the hardest. Yes, you get more, like, better gear or better chance of gear the higher level difficulty level you play, but it's not, it doesn't feel good. As you go higher in difficulty, you feel weaker, and mobs just become bullet sponges. If you don't have a high DPS weapon, you just don't do any damage, even on normal. It just takes you so long to kill things. It's not like Diablo or Path of Exile where you're just like, or even Torchlight 1 or 2, where you're just blowing up dudes. That is not how this game is. It feels off. Like, you'll feel super weak, you'll spec into a new ability, you'll use it, and you're like, oh, this kind of sucks. Then you'll get a new weapon with a higher DPS, and you're like, oh, now this ability is doing damage. And you're like, wait, why is my spells based off my weapon and not, like, why doesn't it scale based on how many points I put into it? And none of the talents are interesting. You put more points into your talents and you're just giving it more damage. You're just giving it a tier bonus, which is like, oh, I get 20% more damage to this spec tree, or now it fires 4 balls instead of 3 balls, or something like that. And it's just not. It feels old. The design. I mean, it's Max Schaefer. He was, part of Blizzard North. He was part of Runic. This game feels like those games without any of the evolution any game has made since 1999, 2000. Like there's so much competition in the ARPG, the loot-driven game genre. You've got Destiny, you've got Marvel Avengers, you've got Last Epoch, you've got Path of Exile, you got Diablo, you've got Grim Dawn, you've got Van Helsing, you've got Victor Vran, you've got Titan Quest, you've got I'm trying to just think of more. Like you've got The Division, you've got like every game is having loot in it now, colored loot. Your blues, your yellows, your golds, your legendaries. So coming out with an action RPG game and it's just especially for $40. That's not. Let me. Yeah, I'm gonna double check that it's 40. I'm almost positive it's even $30 is too much. This is a $20 game being upcharged for $40. Do not buy this game. Wait for a deep sale. The Steam sales are coming up. Black Friday's coming up. Wait for a sale for this game. You'll enjoy it a lot more. You won't regret your purchase. I picked up this game in early access for $10 and I don't regret my purchase. But this is, unless you have nothing to play, unless you're not interested in Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty or Cyberpunk or the WoW expansion or the Destiny 2 expansion that's going to be coming out soon. Save your money, spend it on something that's going to be a complete package. You're going to have a lot more fun. I'm just, I'm not trying to tell you what to buy and what not to buy, but my experience with this game, after playing tons of ARPGs, I have 1,000 hours in Path of Exile, I have 1,000 hours in Diablo. It's not what it should be. It doesn't live up to the Torchlight name. It doesn't live up to the Blizzard North name that they tag on this game all the time, the Max Schaefer. It's not worth your money. Get it on sale, play it co-op, play it with friends when you don't have anything else to play. When it comes to Switch, wait for a sale. That's really what I'm trying to nail in here. If you're not going to wait for a sale, at least wait for the next patch to see if they fix things, if they add things. Because I don't think this game's going to go the way of Anthem. This game's going to go the way of Marvel Avengers, of all those Amazon games that's being canceled. I don't think they're going to support this game long term. I don't think it's going to have the player base to warrant Perfect World. And Perfect World shut down Runic Games. Then they hired one of the creators of Perfect World to make another Torchlight game, and it just feels like they want microtransactions in this game, and they're not there. It's $40. It's overpriced for what you get. Thank you all for watching. I kind of ranted there for a bit, but I'm glad you stuck with it. I just really have strong feelings about this game, and there's so much better games out there that deserve your time. So thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all next time.